in the right place. Now, here is your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hey there, listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up, and I am your host, Colleen Biggs. I am super excited for us to be here today, and I have some amazing guests on my show. I have Stephanie Garcia, who's an LMT at 3 Points, right? Is it 3 Points Massage and Wellness? And I also have Wendy Sterling joining us today. And Wendy is a divorce recovery specialist. And I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting her quite some time ago when we were at Meredith Allen introduced us, and I got to meet her in person at an LA show. It was amazing, and I'm so happy that we got to be together at the luncheon. And I'm going to be interviewing Patty next week from the LA luncheon. But Wendy, since you're there, and we've got you on video and we've got you on the show, do you mind sharing a little bit about the LA luncheon and what your takeaway was?
Sure, I'm more than happy to. Thank you so much, Colleen, for having me here today. So the LA luncheon last week was amazing. It was a standing room only crowd and a room full of female entrepreneurs, which was just the energy in there was just infectious. There was raw emotion happening throughout the course of the event, and so many women who wouldn't have normally met had the opportunity to meet. And it's amazing how, even though you don't know anybody else in the room, how instantaneously we were all connected, and we were connected through our stories. And it was a wonderful opportunity to not only network, but to also make new friends. And thanks to you, Colleen, I walked out of there with 4 new friends. So it was really wonderful.
So great.
Yeah.
Power of connection. Wonderful. It really is. And you know, it was, to me, for me, it was our last luncheon of 2019. It was one of our most powerful luncheons that we had, and I really think it's everyone in everyone in the room that I had connected with and that had showed up at that point, which really brought us to that momentous like ending where we all just felt so aware of ourselves, to be ourselves, to not show up as anyone but ourselves. And with Lead Up for Women, that's really our goal, is to always hold a very sacred space that's fertile enough for women to take off the masks, leave the cloaks at home. But then in addition to that, for them to be able to be themselves and learn how to do that every day without asking permission. And that's really hard. We have a lot of identities that we celebrate. And for us to be able to do that is takes a lot of strength and a lot of support and a lot of community. And as we all know, as entrepreneurs, it's a very lonely place to be unless you're connected with other people, right? So, yeah.
I can even say I feel like it's so much more successful when you connect with other people.
Yeah.
Because we connect with people who like reflect parts of ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to see your strengths when you connect with other strong women too. So
absolutely, I totally agree. So real quick, I'm going to get caught, and I thank you so much for that, Wendy. It was amazing. I wanted to get caught up really quick on some activities we have coming up because it just never stops. You know, we want to make sure that women feel included, connected, that women feel that they are loved and adored, and that they have all the tools that they need and can borrow your strength, my strength, Stephanie's strength, whoever's strength they need at the time to be able to live their best life. Because really, that's why we're here. That's why we're all here. We have these gifts that we've all been so blessed to be able to have. And these gifts allow us to give to others. And we're fueled by energy when we're in our element and in our moment and in our purpose. So it's very exciting to me to have finished off the year really, really strong. And now we're still building our membership base. We're still working on our last magazine. I wanted to show very quickly, this is the newest one we have here. So here's our newest magazine for those of you that can see us. And for those of you that are listening on a podcast, I invite all of you to head over to the Facebook page for Lead Up for Women. I inspire all of you to go over to our website, leadupforwomen.com. There's an opportunity there for you to connect with the other women, to be able to become a member, to be able to look at our magazine, to be able to our members have so much opportunity. They can host a monthly webinar. They get early bird enrollments to all of our events. There's just so many opportunities for all the women. You can vote for someone to be on the Thrive Thursday. This is a woman every week on Thursday that inspires us to thrive. And, you know, it's very special. Like I say, there's a lot of power in stories. And I think it's very important that we acknowledge people's histories, we acknowledge their stories, we celebrate their stories, and because it made us who we are today. And like I mentioned at the luncheon, accept your story, accept where you came from, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, right? Accept all the bad stuff, but you're the only one that can accept all of that. And Wendy, you know a lot about that, which we'll get into more with you about what you do here pretty soon. But I wanted to let all of our listeners know that we have some really exciting events coming up. We're rebuilding our website right now, which will go live next month. And it's going to definitely be more user-friendly. Again, we tape every luncheon. We have photos available. You can see all the luncheons. You can go back and rewatch webinars if you miss those. And what I love about having digital technology today is we have the opportunity to share so much information through digital opportunities, and but the face-to-face connections and the energy and the sharing of that in a room, it's just really hard to replace that, right, Wendy? I mean, when you're in the room and you're with all those women, it's such a powerful moment. So we're going to continue those face-to-face connections. And the next two webinars we have it's always the second Tuesday of every month. So we have a webinar coming up on November 12th. And our good friend Meredith Allen, I asked her at the last minute if she would teach a webinar for us, because I had someone that had to move their webinar date. And so she's going to be teaching us, and I will get that loaded on our website, as well as December 10th, Carrie Ann Gulliver. She's a franchise matchmaker. She's going to be teaching about how girls have guns too. And I love it. It's so cute, the title of that, right? So she's all about, you know, the believer of women in their strengths. So I'm really excited about that as well. And then I'd like everybody who's listening to mark your calendar and mark off these dates and say these dates, February 6th through the 9th. Because we're going to be having a sanctuary, and it's only for 20 women, and it will be an application process, and these 20 women will be chosen, and they will be chosen for women who have a burning desire to already lead in their life without asking permission, or want to learn how to be able to do that every single day. And so this is going to be a powerful gathering that's designed to foster everybody's personal stories, their individual growth, and really be the sanctuary for an eruption of power, an eruption for you to have the safe space. So those 20 women that are chosen are going to be specific 20 women that can hold that space for 3 days. And we've got Chef V coming in. So V, our dear friend that was at our LA luncheon, she's the paleo boss lady. She's going to come in and she's going to cook all of our meals for us. And Stephanie here is going to come in and pamper the women along with attending to be there. So it's going to be a really great opportunity. It's going to be located in Scottsdale, Arizona. We will have transportation from the airport available. We just booked our huge mansion. So all of us get to stay under one roof and be pampered. Yeah. But we're going to learn and have workshops and do really great fun. I say fun, but it's going to help you move your business forward as well as help you personally to be able to move your personal relationships forward. Because, you know, we've got to work. Sometimes we got to get in there and clear out some of that stuff that we got in there, right? Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to move on very quickly. And since we have Stephanie right here sitting with me, and for those that are watching on Facebook, we're in her studio. See how pretty this is? This is her massage therapist studio. And I want to start with Stephanie and Stephanie, how did your story start? You had an article in our magazine, and when I read it, I was in tears in one of our magazines this year about your brush with death and what happened to you. So tell our listeners a little bit about your upbringing, what your life was like, and how you came to be the Stephanie, the strong, powerful entrepreneur Stephanie you are today.
Well, I'm an emotional person, so that's
emotions are where we all thrive, I think.
Yeah. So well, yeah. So if you pay close attention to Lead Up, I did write an article, gosh, months ago.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of guts for me to put that out there.
It's fine.
It's an emotional story, but. So, but yeah, I was born and raised in California, in Southern California, and I excuse me.
No, it's okay.
I am the youngest of my family of an eclectic bunch of 6 kids, and you know, I was raised to be kind of pretty independent despite having all of those siblings. I try and catch all them all the time, and you know, with age difference and life difference, you kind of can only stay you know, best friends with one sibling for so long. It's a different being the youngest of such a big family. So, but with that said, I always tried to follow in footsteps of my siblings. I've always looked up to them, from music to business to education. I always loved live music growing up. And so I always thought that was going to be, somehow music was going to be my career, whether it was music events, planning. I mean, I don't play any instruments. I just love the live music, and I still do. But sometimes, you know, the universe has to kind of slam you down and say, you need to go in a different direction. You have a different path. And it did. It's a vulnerable story to tell because I don't tell it very often. And so when I jumped in to do the article, I was like, oh crap, like everyone's going to hear this story. And it's kind of, so I was, you know, a good student, and I was aspiring to go to a university for music, something. And I just was on the go a lot. I probably partied more than I should have for being that young. And I've grown from that too. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the universe stopped me and said, you need to slow down. And I got really sick. I felt like I had the flu, but I just kept going. It was the last week of high school, getting ready for graduation and grad night. And I had all these plans and all these things, and I lost control. It was no longer in my control to do the things that I thought I was going to do. So I was forced to stay home. My parents, you know, I tried to avoid going to the doctor, silly, because where I'm at now, it's all about listening to your body. And that was what my message was. So when I got sick, I didn't realize what was going on. And I felt like I had the flu. Eventually, I ended up going into urgent care and started having convulsions and woke up in ICU the next day, or so I think. The timeline's kind of still thrown off a bit. I was in the hospital for 7 days. But what had happened was my body had gone septic. I had sepsis. My temperature was 109. My brain was frying. My body was shutting down. What they believed happened is I had a kidney infection. I didn't know I had. I had no pains. I had no I knew of. I mean, I had some back pain, but again, I was always on the go. I was doing all these things for school. I was in business academy.
How old were you during this time?
I was
Stephanie?
17.
17.
So I was 17, and I was getting ready to, and I was in business academy, which senior year, we do what was called a virtual business. So you create an entire business from the ground up, and 2 businesses in our our senior class was a day spa and a laser tag company. And the most fun with that was getting to go to, you know, the spas and get inspiration or different places. So I'm kind of jumping. We come back to being when I was sick, when I didn't know what was happening, you know, and like I said, I was there for 7 days. And when they realized I had gone septic, they told my parents basically, like, there may be brain damage if she survives. You know, when you tell somebody you've had sepsis, or you tell somebody that you had a 109 fever, their jaw drops. They think, wow, how are you alive? How are you, you know, and sometimes I feel like I'm waiting for something, but, you know, I did flatline, and I did have a moment with my spirit, and I met my inner healer, and it's a lot to kind of grasp in just a short interview. But, you know, when you have that kind of barrier with death and you meet that moment, you realize that what you have on this earth is the time that you have. It's to live your purpose. And we take so much time trying to find our purpose as to what we're and it was outside, and there were several of you know, walls and doors, but
All right, I went to a commercial break here. We lost Colleen and Stephanie.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the last couple minutes.
I think the problem is they're on Wi-Fi, and to do video and audio through Wi-Fi is generally a big challenge. So I think that's what's going on. Hopefully they could join back into the meeting.
Okay, because
I wouldn't even know how to
we're
reach
still
Colleen. I
live.
don't know if I have her cell phone number. Let me see.
Oh, there she goes.
All right, Colleen, you there? We're on break right now. Okay. All right, I can't hear you. Do you have to click your mute button?
Did I lose connection?
Yep, we lost you. You were breaking up really bad. Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, because there's no other way for me to do it in here.
Yeah, to do video and audio with Wi-Fi, it's the signal's got to be perfect and really, really strong, and you're just cutting out and breaking up, and the video is freezing, and then it dropped you.
Okay, so what is the best way to do it? Because I don't have any other opportunity in here other than being on Wi-Fi. Do we need to? What is the best way?
Well, the only options are either we continue to try to do this, or we could try Skype without video, or we could try the phone.
The phone. I don't know how that would work with us right now. What would you like me to do? I'm on hotspot right now, but I would do for the show. I don't know if you want to. If you want to have me do the another time, do I lean on this right now? Should we just call in? You want me to try pull up Skype and have give the number to Wendy to call in?
Yeah, we could do that. We could try that.
Okay.
All right. So Wendy, the phone number, it's toll free. It's 1-888-346.
I know.
9141. All right, you got it?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, why would Skype work if the Wi-Fi doesn't.
Yeah. Is Skype going to work if the Wi-Fi is still not working?
Well, we would have to go no video and try to just do audio only. That's the only next best option for, otherwise it's the phone.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to work, but we can keep going. I'll just keep it going live
Okay.
on Facebook.
Sorry for the technical difficulties
Yeah.
out there, listeners.
I know.
Just as I'm getting emotional.
I feel so
Always.
bad. This is, yeah, I'm like going to totally not do Zoom anymore. Here's the issue. I will try and do this, but we'll see if we'll be able to do it. Which means I have to end my meeting, which goes us off of live. So we're gonna have to, let's go. I'll try and go back in.